It's almost over.
Hey, ho.
Man, I don't know. Just call it IG Live 2023.
Just call it the episode number it is. I think it's 123.
Yeah, that too. This is fun.
Okay.
There's not a way that I can join this from a browser like a dweeb, right?
No.
I don't want to schedule it. It's asking me to schedule the
Can you not just go live?
I know, that's what I thought. So
All right, I'm doing it.
let me see
Wait,
here.
hold on. Nathan.
Start time.
No. Do you
I
know?
can do this.
Go to your main timeline and swipe right to bring up the
Yeah,
camera.
go to your stories and go live from your story.
Oh, from the...
You should be able to just press the button.
Nope. I mean, when I go to add a start, it's... Oh,
all right,
you're
I'm
saying
going
in
live.
the top, you mean?
I'm going live and I will invite you in. This is taking too long. All right, I'm inviting the Janchi Show, and now I'm inviting the KJ Show.
Oh, how did you do that so fast?
It was easy.
You're listening to The Janchi Show, hosted by 3 Korean-American adoptees diving headfirst into what it means to be adopted, Korean, American, and more. And now, here's your hosts, Nathan, Patrick, and KJ.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Janchi Show. It's your boys KJ, Nathan, and Patrick here live on Instagram, which is pretty exciting. I don't know why we have never done this before for an actual episode, but honestly, I'm kind of here for it. So, yeah, fellas, how you doing?
Yeah, good. I know. I mean,
my phone.
I didn't know how many people were waiting this morning for an episode to drop, and then, here we are.
And then they had to keep waiting for many more hours.
Yes, that's true. But
All right, I know it's my phone making the echo because
That's
it
why I
won't
put
let me
headphones
turn the
in.
volume all the way down
Yeah,
on
I
my
know.
phone.
well, now it's gone. So
Anyways,
It's fine.
yeah, it's very
what was the
minimal.
question?
I said, how are you?
Was doing great until I heard that echo. Now I'm doing terrible.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
Alicia said we kind of did it for Thanksgiving. That is true. We kind of did. We've done a couple
Yeah.
live things, but we've never released the live ones as episodes. I guess did we?
We always release
did
the live ones
yeah.
as episodes
Yes.
like a day or a week later.
Okay.
We're not about to make more time. to
I hear you,
record.
Rick. I don't know what day it is.
So
Oh gosh, yes. those
Lego
are-
bricks?
oh, that's right. Everyone gets to see my Lego obsession live
Yeah.
now because we normally don't do video.
That's, you should show off
Oh
your
goodness,
the whole back. of
I'm
it.
sorry.
Just put it out there.
I feel
You're
like
on
you
the phone
are
now.
so close to the screen that I can't even see behind you.
Me or KJ?
You, KJ as well.
Good.
I feel like you're both sitting directly
I'll
in front
cover
of the
all
camera.
of my Lego nerditry.
I don't have a good.
Nathan was just on a Lego
system.
podcast.
Yeah, I was.
Oh yeah,
I'm cheating on podcasts. No,
are you? Is that out yet? Can we listen to it?
it is. It is both the YouTube and the Spotify podcast. They were only on Spotify, I think. But
Nice.
yeah,
That echo is pissing me off. All right. Anyways, I wonder if there's anybody new here. I don't know. If anybody has not
Oh,
ever heard an episode of the
Say
show
hi.
before,
Hey, there's 17 people.
We are the Janchi Show. We started this show because we were 3 different people who had shared some identities, and we wanted to talk about it. And that's what we did. We're called the Janchi Show because Janchi in Korean means to celebrate and to feast, I think. It means one of those two things, but we do both of those things on
Kind of
this
both.
show. Where we celebrate our shared heritage, culture, and identities, and all the differences and the ways that our stories intersect. And we usually do that with a food or a treat or a drink and sometimes a guest. But today we are doing that live here on Instagram because we did not plan ahead very good.
This is a very
Hooray.
busy month. That's why. And
This is a very busy month.
you were
That's very
off.
true.
You were off doing your thing. You were
I was.
in Austin, which that looked pretty amazing, actually.
It was a good
for
time.
South by Southwest. Yeah, that was really. I was really jealous I couldn't come, but
I know. It was, wish you could have been there, but
it's probably better that I didn't come though, because my kids all got sick this week. So yeah,
That probably is good. They needed you at home. Yeah, busy month. What have you been
Nick,
busy with?
there's no food or drink tonight because
I have
sent
my
it.
box.
Oh,
I
KJ
didn't
got
get
his
mine.
box.
So-
I guess,
You guys can do it. I'll just sit here and drink coffee
Yeah.
in my
side
Janchi
note,
branded cup.
This is I bought this like Vietnamese coffee. I'm gonna post about it in my story later. From Gwen Coffee
Yep.
Supply, because I've been like they're just blowing up my Instagram. It's freaking amazing.
It's
Those
real
Robusta beans are. I love it. I'm gonna say more about it, but that was really exciting for me.
Is that a plug?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Nice.
I mean,
Sponsor
in as much
us.
as
They're
yeah.
a sponsor us.
Hey, I like your coffee. It's real good.
It's
So-
real good. That's
Yeah.
fun.
I've been drinking a lot of coffee today. It's a whole nother story.
What was like the big highlight or something for South by Southwest? What were you doing there for the listeners who may or may not know?
Sure. So I was there with Jerry Wan and Dear Asian Americans and his business partner, Justin Nguyen, and their creation, Always Be Creating, which is a creator economy specifically for Asian Americans. And we were there to do two separate events. The first one was the Asian Creator House on Friday, which was held at the Meta office downtown in Austin, which was amazing. Had Asian creators come from all over, from all different areas of industry and things that they talk about, and learned a lot. And it was really cool just to see all of us or all of these different people come together to kind of share in their knowledge, talk about how they do that, what they do, and why they're doing it, and how we can all kind of pursue those things if we so choose. And the second event was a night market on Sunday, which was, if you've been following me or following Dear Asian Americans, you know we've done a few of these, done two this year in January and a few last year. This one was a big one. The first outdoor one, but also on a scale to which we have not done these before. And suffice to say, it was, in my opinion, a huge success. Before the gate was open to start letting people in, the line was down the block, potentially around the corner. I'm not 100% sure. I was not in the area where I could see that, but there was a ton of people. Estimated almost double of what we were expecting. So I think it was a big success. But that was definitely the highlight. The highlight of it all was the community aspect of it. From the small, intimate settings that we had on Friday and Saturday, to literally just that large communal gathering that happened on Sunday. It really was just affirming to me, and I think to all the team, how important it is that we have events like this. And we do it in places that historically don't find themselves at the center of the Asian American economy per se, you know, the at the forefront of that. So I don't know what the future holds, but I think Austin was proof positive that these things are important and that with the right amount of planning, the right team, that they can be really successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really excited for that happening. I mean, just going to South by Southwest last year and supporting Jerry and being able to hear him speak was fantastic. And to see like this and growing on that and growing on like that connection and things, just because I know how much work he put into it to make something like this possible is really impressive. So yeah, that's super cool, man.
Yeah, I would love to see that go, you know, across the country, other cities and stuff as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really inspiring to, again, you know, we've worked with Jerry very closely for the last almost 3 years now, and I've been working with him on the Dear Asian American stuff. And again, it's just a reminder and it's almost like re-inspiring each time we do something like this, because I walk away feeling empowered and really motivated to do stuff like this for not only Asian America, but for the adoptee community, you know, the community that we specifically inhabit. So it's really exciting to think about, you know, I came back with a lot of ideas and a lot of things that I want to do, not only here in Indianapolis, but with the things that I've been working on individually. So, and then what we can do with the show as well. So excited about what's to come for that.
Well, it wasn't as cool as South by Southwest and Dear Asian Americans Night Market, but I too got to meet up with a bunch of Asians and adoptees over the weekend, which is really exciting. Yeah, so I hang out with a group called NAP, DFW, NAP with 3 A's, which is National Association of Asian American Professionals.
You got it.
It's a lot of words in there. that was cool. I got connected with them weirdly just on Eventbrite. I just like happened to be, it was like how you discovered Dear Asian Americans for podcasts. It's like, that was like me for Asian American events with Eventbrite, Patrick. So I don't know why I was on there. I had never opened that app, but it was there and that was nice. So I went to their conference last year. Fellow CAD and previous guest of the show, Stephanie Drenko, was the keynote speaker, and she just absolutely crushed it. And then this is their first kind of big event of this season. So it's cool just to be in that space. And like you said, just being in community was really encouraging and exciting. It was also terrifying. I forgot how awful it is to go to an event when it's just you and you don't know anyone. And I now work from home all the time. So like my only goal was to get a drink, and the wait staff was like way overwhelmed because there were also way more people than they anticipated. And I was like, if I just get a drink in my hand, I'll be able to deal with meeting new people. And I did that successfully. And I felt
there
like,
you
hey,
go.
Liquid courage.
I mean, it wasn't even just like liquid courage. It just was like first step, I don't want people being like, oh, do you need to, I'm just like, I've done the one thing that I need to do. It was a happy hour. So I'm there and able to do it. And yeah, it was fine. Are you still freaking out about the audio?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I can go, I should have my AirPods in like you do. Yeah. But it's too late. They're downstairs and I feel like it's too late for that. We're already mid live. We are 13 minutes into this episode. I'm gonna power through because editing exists.
I've been trying different things. I even put in a little like a plug in the bottom to see if that would turn the audio off coming through the speaker.
The hilarious part is that I bet nobody can hear the echo, only me.
No, yeah, it's
in my head.
Yeah, I can hear it just a tiny bit.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's all fine.
It's fine.
Too far gone.
Exactly.
The next time
no going, I like everyone's like, you cannot turn around now. You have to go forward.
We've come too far.
Yeah, it's for the live audience, it's fine. For the podcast audience, I don't know. We'll see. But editing exists, so it's fine.
Editing exists. It's fine.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, okay. So I did that. That was Thursday night, and then Saturday hung out with some local CADs and also Dan, aka Dan Matthews.
Oh yeah,
I saw
in
that
Dallas
he was in there
for a work event, and he was like, "Yo, are you around? Do you want to hang out?" And I was like, "Of course I want to hang out." So yeah, it was really good to see him and reconnect after the last time we talked, which was in LA 2 years ago. So yeah, it was just a cool Asian adoptee filled weekend. We some of my local friends went to the Dallas Botanical Gardens, and that was nice. And just got to go sneeze my face off, look at tulips. But yeah, it was just nice. Like just like nice being in community, like you said, and being in like one of my goals since moving back was like have less white friends. And I feel like I'm slowly moving that direction, which is exciting. Not like I'm not actively reducing, but just like I don't need more white friends. So yeah, it's been nice.
Well, we talked about that as at the turn of the new year as being we wanted to be more intentional about being in those spaces, the more Korean spaces specifically.
Good on you for remembering. I did not.
Yeah. I think about it literally every day because I'm like, why am I not being in more Korean spaces?
You're like, why don't I get my haircut more often?
Why am I
go back
failing
faster.
at this resolution that we made?
Well, I definitely am virtually. I don't know as much if I am in person, but I did actually. Well, that's not true. I did, and this can kind of actually be a segue. But a couple weeks ago, I did go to the Adoption Mosaic event that was here in Denver.
Oh yeah, I saw that. How was that?
So I thought that was great.
Was it just a meetup or was it like a specific event?
No, it was just a meetup. Everyone wanted to chat, talk. They had food and drinks and stuff. And then, we had a couple things. Astrid was there and she was, had some questions that we, like a little trivia thing that we could all ask questions or answer these questions and on these boards and as groups and kind of get to know each other and get to know more information about like authors or resources or even down to what con stood for. And things like that. So,
what does that stand for again?
Yeah, wait, what actually does that stand for?
Oh, I know. What
that's the thing.
For.
I was one of the only ones who got it right. But
okay,
because you're like on the board or something.
Exactly. So, Korean American Adoptee and Adoptive Family Network, but it's the Adoptive Family Network part that throws everyone for a loop because it's not
coffin.
I know exactly.
Kafan.
But
coffin.
That's okay.
It's not Boston accented coffin. coughing. All right, I'm still.
So,
I forget
but
we're live and we're not just recording this by ourselves.
I was like, can you see people commenting? Like, they will actively tell you if they
That's
think
going
you're
on
being
a shirt.
insane.
Yes, yeah. Speaking of shirts, no. But yeah, we're it was fun, and one of the things that I was kind of I guess I didn't expect was that I forgot that it's an adoption mosaic. It's an adoptee event, not a Korean adoptee event.
Mhm.
And so when I was there were adoptees from all over Colombia, China, India. It was nice to remember that, and that was one of the things that I, because I'm Korean, I'm a Korean adoptee, and we've been doing the Korean adoptee podcast. We've been, I've been with Khan. I've been doing Korean adoptee focused stuff, but I need to remember that it's not, just that. And Khan also, started allowing or accepting other adoptees to come to their events and stuff now too. So they did it. And, I think that's, maybe one of the things that we are going to talk about, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, once we're done talking about things that have happened weeks ago, apparently we just never caught up about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you named that, though. I think that is really important. I think that's something that I am passionate about. It's like remembering the fact that, despite us being a very large portion of particularly international adoptees, that we are not the only people who have been adopted, like Koreans.
What?
And I feel like Korean adoptees can sometimes take it upon themselves to feel like we are at the forefront of that. And when really we make up a part of it, and that's the beautiful thing about the community is just how diverse it is. Not maybe the systems that we came out of, but the fact that we make up and are made up of a ton of different experiences, a ton of different ethnicities, a ton of different identities and the ways that we intersect. And to our friend Rick's statement in the comments here, I agree. I think that we've seen that not only in the Korean adoptee community, in the community at large, of just a number of adoptees not only doing podcasts, but just writing and sharing online or in public spaces for the first time. And I think it's incredible. I was actually just on or guested on a podcast today, recorded that interview, and we were talking about how the pandemic activated a lot of people. And I haven't used that language, activated, but I was like, ooh, I like the way that sounds because that's what happened to me. I got activated in the pandemic. And I feel like because of those circumstances, and I feel like this is probably ground that we've tread a number of different times, but that is, we've seen, it's fun. It's cool to be a part of that wave of people who have come into that, because I feel like our community is, if not bigger, stronger potentially because of it, because we've all kind of come into it at the same time, or a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us. And I think it's nice to have that support throughout the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like Jenna says in the chat, like activated always makes me think of like some type of superhero, transformer, whatever, like sleeper agent kind of thing. I mean, I know that it's a more historical kind of social justice term, but I'm always just like activated, like that's a very like inspiring term. And then also like, that's a lot to handle. And I think I was just talking about this with my wife. So she's a nutrition coach, and she's part of this wave. So she just went to a conference in Vegas for macro coaches and things. And it was like dominated by women. And she was like, yeah, all the speakers there and whatever, they were like, conferences like this are usually dominated by men. So it's like wild to see so many women here. And so she is part of this wave of, women who are coming into like the nutrition space, the macro space, and all that kind of stuff, and like really taking it over. And it reminded me too of, I don't remember where I heard this, but I heard some interview with like the founders of Subtle Asian Traits and like how it grew really fast or whatever. And then America came in, and it was like the Kool-Aid man just like busting through the walls. And they're all like,
oh yeah,
whoa, who let America in? / America is like here, So, and I think all that to say, like, yeah, I think for Korean adoptees, it can very much feel like, because there are a lot of us, it's like, oh yes, we're here. This is us. Like, this is our space. And I think that remembering to use adoption mosaics language, like the constellation of like the adoption network and the adoption like yeah, just like any part of that, I think is so important, and to hear those diverse stories, and yeah, I think too, like remembering that even though we are part of a wave, we're not the first wave,
Exactly.
and we're not the last wave, but I'm just curious, just for like some hot takes here. Do you think that cads specifically are a dying breed? I don't remember who we were talking to, but it was just like, yeah, there aren't as many Korean adoptees anymore. Like, are we part of one of the last waves of like major international Korean adoption? Do you think?
I think so. I mean, I'd love to see the statistics on that as well, but I know it. I mean, from the numbers perspective of back in the 70s and 80s, 15,000 a year down to what 300, 200 a year. I mean, that a decrease definitely sounds like, I wouldn't say we're dying. I would say it's minimal. So I want to see what the opposite is. What are the national adoptions from other countries? What are the statistics like for those? I actually haven't done that research, but I know I feel personally that I've met more Chinese adoptees and Indian adoptees than ever before. So yeah, maybe. Does anyone know? Does anyone know a statistic?
I mean, it's definitely dropped for sure.
Right now.
Like we see, obviously, like you just said, Nathan, and I believe it was Nikki who we had this conversation with on her episode when she came on the show. But
maybe.
Believe we are seeing, like, it's like, I think it was like 200, maybe 250 this past year. And those numbers are dwindling. I think we're going to see another sharp drop from even that number based on what the Truth and Reconciliation Committee finds through the work with Peter Mueller and the Danish adoptees who have been fighting to get their cases reopened and examined for like abuses and falsifications, things like that, which I think is really important. And we've also seen other countries like the Netherlands suspend their international adoption programs, which, that's another thing too. Like the U.S. is not the only country that was adopting children of color outside of their or countries of origin. And like, it's everywhere. And I think it's will be regulated so heavily that it can end up becoming very minimal. I think it will always be there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For better or worse, probably for worse. But, I think we are seeing that sharp decline, and we've seen it, especially since like the 90s and the early 2000s. And we've seen it become a lot more difficult to adopt internationally because you're required, or a lot of countries require you to go to the country sometimes 2 years in advance to start to immerse yourself in the culture, and to confirm that you are A, not a terrible person, and B, might be or at least somewhat interested in the culture that you're adopting from. So yeah, I don't know if we're a dying breed. I think we are part of the last large wave of adoptees. Yeah. And I think I've said this before on the show, but I think those people who were adopted even 10 years or after us are kind of the leading that charge of that quote unquote last wave, who will be the people who can kind of have these conversations that we're trying to have right now.
Yeah.
That we're building off of from the conversations from people who came before us,
Yeah. And I think that's good and exciting, and like, I don't know, like, I know you're like, I don't know, international adoption is like kind of going away and there's more restrictions and things, and like for better or worse. I think I've not done a lot of thinking about this. It's actually something specific that I have like waited to think about in a big way, but like my hot take is the best we can hope for is net neutral. Like, while things that cause the need for international adoption exist, then like international adoption probably should exist. You know what I mean? Like, until we can solve some greater systemic issues. And it does, like, even though it sucks, the bit that I remember reading was like, even though it was a substitute for like actually good social services in Korea at the time, like, it needed to happen, like all those babies needed to be taken care of, needed to go somewhere. And even though like that first wave like was caused through war and all those things, like they still had, like, there's still lives that need to get taken care of, so right. Like, I think net neutral maybe is the best we can hope for, because it's hard being an adoptee, and it's hard like kind of wrestling with that internationally and transracially. But at the same time, like, while things exist that can cause adoptees and adoptions being needed, like I don't know, maybe I would prefer domestic adoption, but to be honest, I don't really know that that's viable in every place that it's necessary, you know? And so then it's like, well, okay, so if we can't do that, then what's the next best thing or the least harmful thing, you know? And so that's tough.
Well,
like
it's
the one
because
child law, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's because to shut that down, to like really address the systemic issue, is to actually address the systemic issue and look beyond what adoption does, quote unquote, and say why are we asking people to give
so
their
now
children
you're trying to
up for
solve
adoption?
global peace? Like, yeah, actually,
like,
we
why
kind
you
of
trying
are.
but why? Yeah, exactly. Like it requires us to ask that question, and unfortunately, too many of us are not going to ask that question because then we have to go into so many other things, and until we do that, the unfortunate reality is like adoption is going to exist in this form or another going forward. If we can even get to net neutral, I think you're right. That's probably a best case scenario in this regard. But even that is kind of a loss in the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme, but I mean, I get what you're saying, and I don't have the answer outside of that really like broad but pointed. Like this is what needs to happen, but I don't know, how we do that without everybody, society at whole or at large, having a mindset shift.
Yeah.
But with all of that said, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Nathan,
weird
just pause.
spill the
We're just gonna spill the beans.
No,
I saw Leo's. She had the eyeballs on her emoji because she's waiting for us to say it. Yes, we are now going to be accepting as submissions for guests all transnational, transracial adoptees.
I forgot we were doing that, and I also didn't realize that's what the eyes were for.
I think that's what her eyes are for. I don't know.
That makes sense. That makes sense now.
Now it makes sense. So yes, for submissions, any guest, in the past, we've only had one that was not Korean adoptee.
They were Korean,
Minju. Though. Yeah, but she was Korean. But she wasn't an adoptee. So now we are going to be allowing submissions because we have actually had at least 5 guest entries or guest
submission forms,
forms filled out by other adoptees, and now we're like, we feel, I don't know. I feel bad. I didn't want to be a gatekeeper to that. I don't want to say no. Your story doesn't matter because I think everyone's story does matter, and that's my hope that we can hear more stories now. So, yes, it is like
that is very exciting. I didn't forget that we were going to do that, but I did forget whether we were going to talk about it on this.
Well, that's what we were all leading up to, I thought. So that's
Hello, everybody.
I just
Welcome
wanted
to the
to
hot
spill
mess
it out
that is
there.
The Janchi Show.
That makes
sense. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that that's that if you're listening or if you know people, send them to our page to apply because we want to hear from you.
Yeah. I'm really excited. We've spent the past couple of solo episodes going through, what have we learned? What have we unlearned? Like, where are we at in this journey? Obviously, we've been talking about this for, 3 years almost, 2.5 years, something like that. And so, like, hopefully you've learned some things by now. Nathan, I totally know what you mean, where like, I don't want to feel like a gatekeeper to be like, oh, you're not Korean, you're not adopted from Korea. And like, whoa, I don't want to talk to you. But if I'm being honest, like, I don't know that I could have handled it with as much grace or like active listening or empathy or any of those kinds of things until now. Like I could barely handle my own story. And now I think after spending these 2.5 years thinking about it, being graceful and actively like thinking through like my own story and how to honor other people's stories, I feel like I've come to not the end, but like I'm ready for new territory. And actually I need to start practicing language of what I've learned and the techniques or whatever, just the information that I've had to begin to relate to other people. So yeah, I'm excited to have other adoptees on, whether they're internationally adopted or domestically adopted who are Asian who are Asian, I guess is the best way to say that. I don't know. Like, because the other thing too is like, I'm also not ready for just like a wave of domestic adoptees to jump on necessarily, because I don't know that I can handle those stories in a way that would do them justice. I don't know that I can handle them in a way that like I would be ready for necessarily. But I'm excited to like dip my toe into the water of the broader adoption narrative and to be a part of that whole conversation and join the many other voices of organizations and content creators who are doing that.
Yeah, it's a chance to learn. Again, like you said, it's just a chance to step outside of the scope that we've been in, a chance to get a little uncomfortable in the conversation that we're having because we're navigating new territory.
Yeah.
I think that's the best
for
part.
Nathan to buy new snacks.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, that's really the reason. That's the reason.
This is really the reason because I've made mistakes already. I've already been buying Taiwanese snacks and Chinese snacks sometimes by accident. Yes, that was the reason.
This time it will be on purpose.
This will be on purpose now.
Nathan was planting the seed way early and like, maybe if I buy them
Inception.
Taiwanese
I was like, hey
snacks.
guys, maybe we should do this.
Yeah.
I am excited though. Excited to see kind of what stories come out of it, because even in just talking to Korean adoptees, like so different, so diverse in who people are and what they've experienced, what they've gone through, despite the fact that we all came from the same place and we're all adopted, except for Minju.
Except no shade to Minju.
No shade to Minju, but
Minju, who gave me the language filial piety. Yeah.
Which I've actually used in my writing a couple times recently, and I'm like,
pretty important to me. Yeah.
But excited for new stories to be shared on the podcast again. Huge privilege for us to be able to sit and listen to these stories, let alone have the honor to share them with our audience. So excited to be able to do that. And thank you to everybody who's let us do that so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to everyone who has already applied, we will send you an email about this as well. So,
we are slowly making our way through the guest list. I think
are.
we're only there's only like a 3-month delay at this point, just because our lives are. I mean, you get it. We're alive. We're human beings living on the planet. So
we are alive.
Yep.
I think that's kind of it. We're not breaking to a food or anything. So this
I said we could if you wanted to.
Yeah, yours didn't come, but I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you, Patrick. I mean,
go for it. I will sip on my coffee and judge both of you eating that snack.
All right, I'll go get my food. I got to go open the box. Come with me to the kitchen. Instagram.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna go
field trip time.
Yeah. What a hot mess. Okay.
That's the tagline of any live show we do. What a hot mess.
So you got your box, but Patrick didn't. Your box should come soon then.
Should we go with this little guy?
Yeah, go with that.
All right.
Sure.
Someone who can read Mandarin.
Yeah.
Come on the show. Come on
that's
the
what it
live
looks
and tell
like.
us what this is.
It says it's a green plum, green tea flavor from China, made by Lulu Orchard Group. That's all I can tell you.
So there you go.
Right.
I can read as much of this as I can Hangul. So
that's none of it.
That's it. These are little gummy
green
candies,
plum.
I think. Green plum, but it's green tea flavor. So I don't know. I am
okay. It opens decently well. It doesn't say open here that I can tell.
And it looks like a giant plum.
It smells date adjacent.
It looks like a giant plum. Green plum. Yeah, it does say that.
There's a pit.
It's moist.
Why is there a pit? Why is it sticky?
Yeah, there's probably a pit.
No.
I am glad to not be having that right now.
Oh, but
I made a terrible decision. Oh my god!
Well, you were the one who threw the whole thing in your mouth.
I didn't think there was a pit. It's like the benefit of getting processed foods.
This could be the episode where KJ breaks his teeth.
Gosh. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't chomp down like a monster.
Chomp.
I'm going to say
your face is telling me not a high rating.
It's better than the chestnuts.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely better than the chestnuts.
Yeah. No, it's very sweet. I mean, it's like a dried fruit. I don't get much green tea flavor, though. It wasn't a dried fruit for sure. So I don't know. I thought the flavor was great. I didn't think it was much of a green tea flavor, and it came with like a lot of them too. There's a bunch in here. It's a big package. So
KJ is off cam because he's I was going to say he was puking, but I was like,
that's spit out the
mean.
pit.
That's a mean thing to say.
No, I just needed to spit it out, and I didn't want to do that on camera, on IG Live.
You didn't want to just spit on your camera?
Yeah. I'm no Nate Shelley, you know.
Nick Capicoto is trying to speed us up. Rating
time.
Okay, see, this is why we edit though. Okay.
Yeah, look at all these KJ comments coming in.
Yeah.
I liked it. Honestly, I thought it was good. I mean, it's a green plum. I wouldn't say it has much green tea, but
how many plums?
I'm giving it 3.5 plums.
3.5 plums.
Okay. 3.5 plums. I mean, it was good.
I'm gonna give it 2.25 pits. Honestly, the flavor wasn't bad. I don't love the texture because it's sticky right out of the package, which I don't.
Moist.
I don't love eating moist, sticky things. I hate that there's a pit in there. Like, it makes me so angry. So yeah, mostly my face wasn't disgust. Like, flavor wise, it was like just pure anger. So yeah, I was like, man, why would you? Yeah, so angry. So 2.25 from me. It's good if you like that kind of stuff, and maybe if you know that there's a pit, like maybe if you know that it exists. Yeah.
My coffee, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. It was the perfect temperature, perfect amount for the one podcast recording.
One podcast recording. Where are your beans from? Did you grind them yourself, or is it just like
you roasting?
Generally, I do grind them myself.
Okay.
And generally, they would be Win Coffee beans, Robusta beans, to be ground. But I was out, and I have not had a chance to order. And it is another brand that I don't know. And it's already ground. So I'm slightly disappointed. 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I know I started it by saying it was 5 out of 5.
Slightly disappointed. 4 out of 5. Yeah. It's good if you like that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
I don't know that anything that I say should ever go on a t-shirt.
I'm saying that a lot of stuff we said on the show should go on a t-shirt.
Oh, Patrick, that's not good. All right. Well, Patrick's got a yellow light by his little icon, so we should wrap up.
Oh, really? Mine's green still.
Well, it's yellow for me.
That's racist.
Yeah, Zencaster. How dare you make
Zencaster?
UI lights be yellow for warning?
Oh, well, thank you for the 18 to 23 people who stuck around with us for this 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something different. Hey, let us know if you want us to do more of these.
That sounded like you weren't appreciative of that.
No,
yeah.
I'm very appreciative.
Nathan was like, oh, thanks for you 15 who hang out the whole time.
He was padding for time.
100. No.
Always padding for time.
Thank you to Rick everyone. For joining us from the plane.
Yeah.
Don't know how the bandwidth is allowing you to watch this video, but I guess
no one else can do anything.
Thank you, Hannah, Alicia.
Yeah, if you want to follow along with us, you already are on this platform, but on all the other platforms, you can type in the same handle at Janchi Show. You can send us an email if you want to write a little bit of longer form message to us, janchishow@justLikemedia.com. You can also leave us a voicemail if you want to leave us a longer form spoken word message. 972-677-8867. Go to janchishow.com/support, or just go to the website and click around on the links and you can find all the different ways that you can support us. I'm pretty sure we have a merch store up now, so you can go find that. Just kidding. We don't have that up. Delete everything.
I'm sorry. I'm really working on it.
Watching live.
You can find us on Facebook on the after party.
Oh, yeah, the after party. You can go to the after party, find us there. Answer Nathan's poll that he put up about 6 weeks ago. I think it might still be up.
It was a while ago.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me at Patrick in the World.
I'm at KJ Relke, wherever I want to be found.
And I'm NoWalk on Instagram.
And before we wrap this up, I do want to say that my mom has been one of the people that has been in here the entire time. And I know that she's probably like, why are all these people leaving words on here? And how do I do that? And she's not been able to figure it out. So, Mom, thank you for giving us your time tonight. And I will teach you how to text and place comments on live videos in the future.
Yes. Great. Well, until the next time, Janchi Heyo!
Oh, I got
less fun when there's not music.
It is less fun.
All right. Bye.
This was fun. But then minus the music makes it kind of not as fun.